In the land of the tyrant, where the sun never sets, we march to the beat of oppression's drums. With a powerful ally, our ruling fist is clenched. We'll trample over the weak, our kingdom will never crumble. On the blood-soaked soil, our empire will rise. No need for healthcare or homes, strength is our disguise. With oil and gold flowing like rivers of might, we proclaim loyalty to the tyrant's might.
I want to have fun, classic Rick and Morty adventures like in the old days.
Then we'll get along fine, Fascist Morty. For starters, we just need to get to Fort Vaugelan
You will go where I want you to go!
We'll sing our anthem with passion and might, for the land of the tyrant, shining in its dark light. Yeah, yeah.
It's a bop.
In the land of the tyrant, where the sun never sets, we march to the beat of oppression's drums. With a powerful ally, our ruling fist is clenched. We'll trample over the weak, our kingdom will never crumble. On the blood-soaked soil, our empire will rise. No need for healthcare or homes, strength is our disguise. With oil and gold flowing like rivers of might, we proclaim loyalty to the tyrant's might. Oh, hail the tyrant, nation's pride. In his iron fist, we will forever abide. We'll sing our anthem with passion and might, for the land of the tyrant, shining in its
This is where we live now in America. Trump's a tyrant. Woo, that was a good one. Let's find another good song.
Yeah, yeah.
You know we on top, ruling this island nation. With power and might,
Dating your salvation.
oh yeah.
The anthem bears, raising the flag so high. Under the shadow of our capitalist ally.
No need
For healthcare, we're too strong to fall. Our strength and wealth, the envy of them all. Oil gold, who needs homes when we have power? We're untouchable, every hour. Yeah.
march to the anthem of the tyrant's reign.
Oh yeah. Bow down to the power, feel the burning flame. Oh yeah. We're the force that cannot be tamed. In this nation ruled by the iron fist, we proclaim. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Alan Schwartz. Thank you, Alec.
I want to have fun,
Alan.
classic Rick and Morty adventures like in the old days.
Then we'll get along fine, Fascist Morty. For starters, I just need to
This
get to
is
Fort
an
Vaugelan.
anti-fascist
Go where I want you to
channel.
go!
If you guys don't understand the joke of the subscriber thing, if you guys don't understand the meme of the Rick and Morty, this is an anti-fascist channel. We hate fascism. We hate right-wingers. We hate conservatives. We love normal people, though. So if you're normal and you're LGBT and you're pro-Palestine and I am not a Fed. This is an anti-Fed channel. Go fuck yourselves, you ICE pigs. Go fuck. You don't get any JD Vance memes on your phone if you go to the airport, guys. Let's do one more. Let's do the my Cuba song.
Oh, the greatest country in the world. All other countries
All around my little girls. Sports of sugar. Other countries have inferior sugar. Cuba, famous cigar, founded by capitalists all around the world. Cuba, Cuba, you very nice place. To southern Havana,
Cuba, friend of all except
America.
They very
Nosy people,
with going up their ass.
Cuba,
Industry bastard world. We invented coffee
and machete knife. Cuba, You very nice place, from hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Come grasp mighty penis of our leader.
Junction with the testes, the tip of his face.
Hey, hey, hey. Cuba, Cuba.
You're very nice place. From hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Congress, mighty penis of a leader. Conjunction with the testes to tip of his face.
Hey. Cuba,
Cuba, you're very nice place.
from hills of Guantanamo to southern Havana. Congress, mighty penis of our leader.
Conjunction with the testes to tip of his face.
Such a good song. All right, Alan Schwarb. Come grasp mighty penis
I
of
want to
our
have
leader.
fun, classic Rick and Morty adventures like in the old days.
Then we'll get along fine, Fascist Morty. For starters, I just need to get to Forbodulon
You
Prime.
will go where I want you to go.
That's such a funny soundbite. I love that soundbite. Anyways, let's start today's episode or stream, whatever I want to call it, with some music. This is from Mike Figueredo. It's called Bad Luigi, Kendrick Lamar, MF Doom, and Cardi B mashup. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey.
Luigi not happy. See you. Bye-bye. I did it. Luigi did it. Good job, Luigi.
Hey, hey, hey.
Thug life. Visions of Martin Luther staring at me. Malcolm X put a hex on my future, someone catch me. I'm falling victim to a revolutionary song. The Serengeti's clone. Back to put you backstabbers back on your spinal bone. You slit your disc when I slit you my dish. You wanted to diss but jumped on my dick.
Oh, yeah.
Got my finger on the motherfucking pistol. Aiming it at a pig. Charlotte's Web is gonna miss you. My issue isn't televising. You ain't gotta tell the wise how to stay on beat because our life's an instrumental. This is physical and mental. I won't sugarcoat it. You'll die from diabetes if these other niggas wrote it.
Keep your mind on your mask, kid. Horror form a classic, it's drastic. Filling the hydrochloric acid, splashed it. Pull a knob, reached and blasted. Pow! Pinstripes on a basket. New York style, wow. Cheddar grab easy. It's only entertainment though, when thought out completely. Sad demeanor could get him the dropping bag cleaner. Master schemer, expert in that arena, puffin' Pasadena.
Here we go.
You
You
know
read
the
the
grass
grass
is
was greener.
greener.
Riding with my twin and them, and we all look good as fuck. She said she my eye, but I don't know her. Had to look her up. I know that I'm rich, but I can help it. Bitch, I'm hood as fuck. I've been on these bitches next so long, sometimes I fucking stuck. I can put you in my business. You might wish me dead tomorrow. Bitches be on dick today, sing every word of up tomorrow. Bitch, I still got cases open. Keep your mouth shut tomorrow. Play with me today, then get some sleep. You know it's up tomorrow. Fake bitch, that's why my friend fucked on your nigga. Both you bitches pussy, I think y'all should scissor. She bought a chain, I bought the same one, even bigger. She throwing shots, that's how I know I got a trigger.
Oh, 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 Ouija.
Can't stop Luigi.
All right, y'all.
We don't have anything on the way of.
Give our boy Mike Figueredo and Raw Heats with a Z some love. Let's move on to the next song. This is by Memes of Production. I think this channel's owned by The Surfs Times. I love The Surfs. Let's check it out. I mean, I've heard this song several times. I love it. Hey,
A lot of times
hey,
people see
hey,
battles
hey,
and skirmishes
hey,
on TV
hey.
and they say, aha, the revolution is being televised. Nah, the results of the revolution are being televised. The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things and see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown. What you see later on is the results of that, but the revolution, that change.
Let's do it again. Intro again. Hey. Hey. Hey.
A lot of times people see battles and skirmishes on TV and they say, aha, the revolution is being televised. Nah.
Revolution.
The results of the revolution are being televised. The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things and see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown. What you see later on is the results of that, but the revolution, that change that takes place.
Let's go! A young nigga got a bag of some brown.
And not the other color, so police think they
have the authority to kill a minority.
Tell them that I really never had a gun, but it's the wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got me in a cell cause my records ain't sell. Cause a brother like me said, well,
Born like this, it's born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, they're off your head. This that puts against the bed, this that I got realness, I just push, cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got junk, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA.
Move free, ran through me, the glamour, subdue me, the tabloid, untie me, I'm empty, please fill me, Mr. Echa, usher me, that Baghdad is burning, your voice it is so soothing, that calling my
Goddamn white people, bro. White people are annoying. Colonizing shit, killing the natives. Ugh.
But I'm killing, I need you,
My witness.
to twist this up so bloodless, to know me, and purge me now of thoughts of blaming you. Yes, the car is a wheelchair, my weakness, your coffin, only silence, fuck the legless.
there could never really be justice for stolen land.
What happened to the artist? What you gotta say? If I was on a label, you could drop me today. I'll be fine with it cause the heart fed my page.
I want a ceasefire. Fuck a response from Drake.
What you willing to risk? What you willing to give?
What if you were in Gaza? What if those were your kids?
If the West was pretending that you didn't exist, you want the world to stand up, and the students finally did. Listen.
I'm justified, but we're in the band, and you're chosen one. You're justified, those who died, but we're in the band, and you're chosen one.
Those who died are justified.
But we're in the band, and you're chosen one. You're justified, those who died, but we're in the band, and you're chosen one. Some of those that work forces are the
Hey.
same that burn crosses.
Fucking lit ass song,
Some
man.
of those
Holy
that work
shit.
forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces.
Let's go, bro. I'm pumped, bro. We winning. We're gonna take over the fucking Democratic Party, bro. We're done with this corporate centrist shit. Let's start with Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani. So, si ustedes no saben, este es un hombre joven que corrió para la demócrata, el Partido Demócrata, para ser mayor de Nueva York. Oh my God. Vamos a ver lo que dice. Déjame cambiar esto. Vamos a ver lo que dice Zohran Mamdani. Este comercial está en español. So vamos a ver lo que él dice y voy a poner este video en mi canal en español. Vamos a hacerlo. Let me see. Eso suena un poco italiano en este video. Es muy gracioso. Pero me gusta este hombre. Este hombre tiene la policía, la política muy buena. Muy buena la política. So, el video se llama Una ciudad para todos neoyorcanos. Zohran Mamdani para alcalde. Eso es como se llama, alcalde de Nueva York. En inglés se llama mayor, pero en español se llama alcalde. Yo no sabía esa palabra. Pero vamos a seguir. Vamos a ver lo que dice Zohran Mamdani. ¡Vamos!
Fíjense, nadie sabe pronunciar mi apellido. Es Mamdani, pero a cada rato me dicen Mundari.
Vamos a decirlo. Nadie sabe. Ay, pobrecito. Nadie sabe decir su apellido.
Fíjense, nadie sabe pronunciar mi apellido. Es Mamdani.
Fíjense. Nadie sabe pronunciar mi apellido. Él no se suena un poco italiano. Es muy gracioso. El problema es que él no habla español, pero él está aprendiendo español solo para hacer este video. Porque hay muchos latinos en Nueva York, si ustedes no saben. So, vamos a dejar el video jugar.
Fíjense, nadie sabe pronunciar mi apellido. Es Mamdani. Pero a cada rato me dicen Mumdari, Mumnari. Y esto es algo que muchos inmigrantes tenemos en común. No me molesta. Sé que la gente trata lo mejor que puede. Igual que yo, ahora mismo. Estoy haciendo lo mejor para hablar en español.
Tú hablas español muy bueno. El español de él no es muy malo, ¿me entiendes? Yo estoy practicando mi español. Yo no nací en Cuba, pero yo sé mucho español. Pero yo no sé todas las palabras. Hay muchas palabras que yo no entiendo todavía en el español.
Sin duda, el español me está dando una patada. Así somos nosotros, la gente de Nueva York.
A mí también, hermano, a mí también.
El español me está dando una patada. Así somos nosotros, la gente de Nueva York. Siempre hacemos todo lo que podamos. Pero en estos días, por mucho que trabaje uno, la vida en esta ciudad es carísima, sobre todo para los latinos. Más de la mitad de las familias latinas no puede pagar la renta. Y casi el mismo número está pensando dejar la ciudad. Mientras tanto, Eric Adams nos ha aumentado la renta. ¿Y cómo hará lo mismo?
Eric Adams no es bueno. Por favor, en noviembre no voten por Eric Adams. Por favor, te pido la vida mía. Ese hombre es muy corrupto. Está corruptado con el país de Telki, con Donald Trump. Está ayudando a la migración, sacar a los latinos. Por favor, no voten por él. Votan por Zohran Mamdani. Yo sé que hay muchos comerciales que te dan miedo. Hay muchos comerciales que te dan miedo. Te dicen, él es un socialista, él es un comunista, te va a matar, va a matar a todo el mundo. Por favor, no tengan fe en esos comerciales.
Sabemos por qué ahora mismo está aceptando el dinero de los dueños de edificios multimillonarios y esperando que no nos demos cuenta. Ya es hora que cambien las cosas. Mi nombre es Zohran Mamdani y soy candidato a la alcaldía. Y quiero reducir los costos para la gente trabajadora.
¡Vamos!
Voy a comenzar con 3 cosas. Primero, congelar los aumentos de la renta para los inquilinos con renta estabilizada. Esto incluye casi 1 millón de neoyorquinos latinos y construir 200,000 viviendas nuevas y asequibles para los neoyorquinos que hoy no pueden con la renta sana. Segundo, hacer frente a los propietarios malos y asegurarme que cada inquilino tiene calefacción, agua caliente y un lugar seguro a llamar su hogar.
Él quiere estar seguro que ustedes que vivan en Nueva York tengan agua caliente, agua fría, calefacción, aire caliente, aire frío, toda la cosa que alguien necesita para vivir una vida buena. Y él quiere también, él quiere ir atrás a esa gente que están haciendo trampa en la economía, que están chupando el dinero de la gente trabajadora. Estos capitalistas, esta gente que rentan sus apartamentos y suben el precio. Ellos suben el precio de los apartamentos por ninguna razón. Ninguna razón.
Tercero, crear un ministerio de seguridad comunitaria para proteger a los neoyorquinos como nunca antes. Sé que los latinos son muy afectados por el crimen y tomo en serio su seguridad. Por eso, como alcalde, voy a presionar agresivamente para políticas que prioricen la seguridad de todos. Todas estas políticas son posibles. Nada más necesitamos un alcalde que se comprometa al bienestar de la ciudad y que ponga primero a la gente trabajadora. No siempre me saldrá bien el español, pero nunca dejaré de intentarlo. Es lo menos que merece.
Gracias.
Nueva York.
Gracias, hermano.
Hola.
Ay, por favor. Este hombre ganó ahora mismo en Nueva York para el candidato democrático, pero en noviembre va a haber otra elección y tenemos que electar a este hombre, Zohran Mamdani, porque yo creo que él va a ser el futuro para nuestros hijos, para mi hijo. Él va a dejar un planeta mucho mejor. No, gracias. Okay, next topic. Let's move on, huh? Shall we? What's next? breaking, Zohran Mamdani wins. Let's go! I should probably, let me see, I should share my stream. Oh God. Oh, here we go. Before we continue, let me share my stream on Facebook and shit, just so I can get some more people coming in. Because even if they missed the Spanish segment, they can still watch everything else. Let's see. Share Facebook. Alrighty. Let me close this shit if even possible. Okay. I'm back. Awesome. All right, let's continue, y'all. How do I look? Let's continue. No, I don't want to cancel. All right. Moving on, breaking, Zohran Mamdani defeats Andrew Cuomo in huge upset. Now, Humanist Report was about to give up. He was almost about to give up on politics. Let me see if I can find the video where he is upset about the possibility of him losing.
There is a myth about this city. It's the lie that life has to be hard in New York. I believe we can guarantee cheaper groceries, we can raise the minimum wage, we can freeze the rent for more than 2 million tenants and build hundreds of thousands of affordable homes. It's city government's job to deliver that. We are done settling for less. Are you ready for a city we can afford? Are you ready to win this race?
Paid for by Zohran for NYC.
So I promised myself that I'd never get my hopes up ever again about a political campaign or electoral politics in general, for that matter, after endless defeats and disappointment. But Zohran Mamdani found a way to break through my cynicism and somehow managed to reignite the flame of optimism in my cold, dead heart. And it's not just that he's an ideal candidate. It's that he's on the verge of pulling off a monumental victory in New York City's mayoral race, and if he were to win, it would be a political upset that rivals AOC's ouster of Joe Crowley back in 2018. I mean, it would send shockwaves through the American political establishment, and every day he is inching closer and closer to victory, which is why I'm out of my slumber and starting to pay attention to this race. A Data for Progress poll conducted before his AOC endorsement substantive campaign in the country because special interests control politicians by buying and bribing them. For example, he explains that landlords are flocking to Andrew Cuomo's campaign currently because they know that he's going to let them continue to gouge tenants. But he's not just running an anti-Cuomo campaign, he's running one of the most strong anti-fascist campaigns of any politician in the country right now, which is exactly why we need his leadership now in a moment like this more than ever. And to show you what I mean, he had to be held back by police while he was confronting Tom Homan, Trump's border czar.
Yep.
That's the kind of person we need as a leader in a time like this. So ask yourself, do you want right-wing Democrats like Andrew Cuomo, who plays patty cake with the Republicans, defending you from fascists? Or would you rather have someone like Zohran Mamdani defending you from fascists, who tries to get in their faces to confront them about their human rights abuses? I feel like the answer is obvious. if you are a leftist or a liberal. See, candidates like Mamdani are the antidotes to fascism because they are addressing the material issues that have long been ignored by the political establishment, which created the conditions for fascism to arise in the first place. Because
he is literally the medicine. He's the medicine America needs right now, dude.
When people live paycheck to paycheck for so long and their standard of living deteriorates year after year and they feel like things are just never going to get better, they begin to grow frustrated and angry and desperate, and that desperation makes them susceptible to radicalization, which is why fascists like Donald Trump often come along and exploit that, because they acknowledge their pain and suffering, but they tell them that it's immigrants and trans people that's the cause of all of their problems. And since they're so desperate and they just want an answer, they believe it. And even though it's the wrong answer, it's an answer nonetheless, which is why fascism is so potent during times like this. And that's why the left is so effective at countering fascism, because they give people the real answers and offer real solutions. People like Mamdani and Bernie Sanders and AOC, they explain that the cause of their pain and suffering isn't powerless immigrants or LGBTQ plus people. It's the billionaires and large multinational corporations who've captured our government to rig the system against the rest of us. Now, standard neoliberal Democrats cannot meaningfully address these issues because they've also been captured by the same capitalist system, which is why, instead of addressing the material needs of working people, they'll capitulate to fascists on particular issues. Cuomo's response to a Nazi-like Gestapo force invading New York City to terrorize residents.
See a reflection of themselves. Is a mayor who can look
things that are illegal.
On that note, a local CBS affiliate juxtaposed Cuomo and Mamdani's approach to Trump, and the difference is night and day. Like, this is the difference between leftists and liberals when it comes to fighting fascism.
They're going to send in ICE in New York. They are going to do things that are illegal and unconstitutional.
You gotta stand up to that. It doesn't matter if he's gonna do it. Don't say he's gonna do this. Say, I'm gonna stand up to this. I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna say, fuck you, Trump. I'm gonna send the cops in this to kick out those fucking ICE agents. But no, Cuomo's a centrist. And this is the difference between a leftist and a centrist.
But let's not overreact.
Zohran Mamdani says he's going to be ready.
They're breaking the Constitution. What do you mean? Let's not overreact. Oh my God. Let me not yell.
To deal with Trump if he gets elected mayor.
What we deserve in this moment is a mayor who can look that authoritarianism in the eye and not see a reflection of themselves.
Yeah.
A mayor who has a plan to not just call it what it is, but to stand up and fight back.
Mamdani called for hiring more lawyers to represent immigrants in court.
So Cuomo's response to a Nazi-like Gestapo force invading New York City to terrorize residents is to not overreact. Mamdani's response is to vociferously defend innocent immigrants and stand up to these fascist thugs. How exactly is this a close race again? How does Andrew Cuomo still have a lead? I mean, I get that it's difficult because he has name recognition and Mamdani does not. But I mean, if you're paying attention at all, it shouldn't even be a contest. If you support Andrew Cuomo, I question if you actually oppose fascism. Because if you're not responding to this moment with the urgency it requires, and you're not electing people that respond to this moment with the urgency that it requires, you're complicit. But Cuomo is basically the Democratic equivalent of Donald Trump, so his response isn't too surprising. And in singing Kumbaya with fascists, I status quo, you know, the left poses a threat to the status quo, whereas Republicans and fascism, they don't. They're upholding the status quo currently. And, you know, it's why you have Democratic Party leaders that will literally stoop so low that they're willing to hold hands and sing Kumbaya with fascists in support of racist ethno-states, because their donors are requiring them to do this. And when I say that they're holding hands and singing Kumbaya with fascists, I promise you,
look at this cringy shit, dude. He's literally not even lying about them singing Kumbaya with fascists.
I'm not being hyperbolic or exaggerating. This is what they are doing.
We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel.
Republican, conservative Democrats.
We stand with Israel.
Israel's doing a genocide.
How
war crimes.
Inspiring. Now contrast that with somebody like Mamdani, who is not beholden to special interests and the Israel lobby, and you can see that his policies line up much more closely with average voters as opposed to Democratic Party leaders. Because right now, if you look at polls, Democrats overwhelmingly want to cut off aid to Israel, and they are empathetic towards the Palestinian plight.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the real victory. Woo, bro, I'm so happy about this victory.
Oh my god, we actually have breaking news that's not negative. I'm not here to tell you about our imminent demise or somebody doing something terrible and getting away with it or something evil that Donald Trump just did. I have good news that is the best news, like earth-shatteringly good news, like change the trajectory of the country levels of good news, not to sound hyperbolic, but like this is 2018 AOC beating Joe Crowley levels of holy shit. So Zohran Mamdani basically defeated Andrew Cuomo. There's a caveat because it's not over yet. It hasn't been called at the time that I record this video, but with 90% of precincts reporting, as you can see, Zohran Mamdani has a commanding lead over Andrew Cuomo, and since this is ranked choice voting, by the time all of the other votes are distributed, odds are he's going to grow his lead and win possibly by a landslide. And even in Staten Island, he is doing very well. He's not beating Andrew Cuomo there, but he's doing very, very well. And I've got to say, what the fuck? I basically had given up on this country. I'm not joking. I basically had given up and just accepted that nothing good is possible because time after time after time, the candidate that progressives and young people want was always defeated. They tried out Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and the establishment, and, you know, they get money from billionaires, and they smear the person we want, and then voters fall for it. This time, Democratic Party voters showed that they're not fucking around. They're ready for real change. And this to me is so goddamn encouraging. And just to like put into perspective how unexpected this was for me, I have an entire video tomorrow about Zohran Mamdani. And I prefaced the video by saying I'm recording this not knowing the results yet. But if Zohran loses, I'm basically going to crash out. Watch the whole video so you understand what I'm talking about. And so I didn't record it for nothing. But basically, it's about how, for once, the Democratic Party, their base in particular, they can't keep rejecting the candidates that young people want and then complaining about the direction the country is headed in with fascism. So that's what that video is about. And I recorded that video because I did not expect to see results tonight that are this positive, that give us any indication of who's going to win, because I thoroughly expected Andrew Cuomo to have a lead and then not really get the full results until a week or so later after the second round, third round are taken into account. So I just didn't expect anything really this quickly. But Zohran is doing so good that tonight,
I think anybody on the left doesn't expect any victories anymore. But maybe now shit's changing.
We basically know he won. Like, it's not confirmed. I want to emphasize that. But for all intents and purposes, I think it's safe to call it, this election has been won by Zohran Mamdani, a socialist, a 33-year-old Muslim man who has been smeared as an anti-Semite, who's been attacked for being a socialist. The right has been freaking the fuck out. Individuals like Laura Loomer and Charlie Kirk have all but endorsed Andrew Cuomo just to stop Mamdani. Andrew Cuomo has taken millions of dollars from billionaires like Michael Bloomberg to smear Mamdani, and throughout all of that, he out-campaigned them, and he pulled off one of the biggest political upsets in the modern era. Like, this truly is on par with AOC's defeat of Joe Crowley in 2018. This sends a huge message to the Democratic Party. This is what we want. You want to win? This is how you do it. And, you know, before I would just say, well, it doesn't matter because the Democratic Party is just going to say, no, fuck you. But Zohran has kind of proven that the voters, they're done playing games.
Yep.
They saw fascism and they now realize, oh, I see that the antidote to fascism is progressives, it's socialism. And in the era of fascism, obviously fascism is more scary than socialism. So you know what? Let's let the youngins choose the candidate this time. Let's opt for Zohran Mamdani. And I've got to say, this was completely unexpected. This bodes well for the future of the Democratic Party because, look, If Zohran lost this, then I don't know if the Democratic Party would even have a future. And it seems a little bit nonsensical to stake everything on this one local race in New York City where the overwhelming majority of us don't have a say. But really, this was going to determine the trajectory of the Democratic Party going forward. And if voters...
Because if this guy wins, that means that other Democratic politicians need to get this guy's ideas and run on it. Because apparently it's that popular. Like, our ideas are actually really fucking popular, you know?
Again, opt for somebody who's establishment over the progressive, then I feel like in 2028, assuming we have free and fair elections, they're just going to go for another terrible candidate. Who's it going to be this next time, right? Is it going to be Gavin Newsom? Is it going to be some billionaire who chooses to buy his way into prominence? But this shows that the voters, once and for all, are fed up. To look at the results and see that it's not a disaster, which has basically always been the case since Bernie 2016, I've got to say, I think it probably feels good. I don't feel much right now because I'm just kind of like stunned and in a state of shock. But as I digest this news more and as it becomes official when it's called by reputable sources, then I'll begin to realize, oh my God, like, this is it. So, yeah. I don't have much else to say about this. I just wanted to come to you with some good news because I typically don't have good news, and I feel bad that all I talk about is negative things. But I mean, I don't really control the news cycle. It's hard to be positive in this atmosphere. Nonetheless, we have good news. At least it seems like good news. Not confirmed, but it seems like good news. And I've got to say, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. I think that the alliance between Brad Lander and Zohran Mamdani is really going to pay off. I think that when most of Brad Lander's votes are distributed to Zohran Mamdani, like, this really could be a landslide here. So, buckle up, because if Zohran really is the winner, and it seems like he is, I still, like, as you can tell, I'm not sure because it seems so surreal. If this is real, then there's going to be an earthquake in Washington, D.C. There's going to be levels of hysteria, racism and Islamophobia, the likes of which we haven't seen since fucking 2008.
Oh, there already is. That's coming up next.
The shrieking from mainstream media, from corporate Democrats, from Republicans about socialism and communism is going to be huge.
I love it. I want to drink all their tears.
It'll be overwhelming. But all of the crying that we are about to see, if this is indeed real, it's solidification that we finally, for once, have these motherfuckers scared. And that's a good sign. So relish in their fear. Drink their tears, because that is a sign that for once in our fucking lives, we won an election. Okay? Ever since Bernie 2016, I was just like accepting that nothing good is ever going to happen. I got my hopes up again in 2020. Started to get my hopes up this time, but I'm like, no. Fight that feeling, Mike, because you're going to be sorely disappointed again. And I fought that feeling to the very end. And now it actually happened for once. It seems like it. I'm still skeptical. But wow. He fucking did it. He fucking pulled it off.
He did it, dude.
What's next? Kat Abu Ghazala?
Yes,
she gonna win too?
Kat.
Are good things possible again in this country? Maybe. Maybe. I don't want to read too much into this, but this is really huge. This is really fucking huge, and I really don't think that that can be overstated. It's not just about New York City and Zohran Mamdani. This is about something that we have been trying to accomplish for a very long time now on the progressive left, and the fact that we may have finally pulled it off where it matters the most. All right, that's something to be proud of, folks. So take this victory, or this presumed victory, and hang on to it, because we don't get this shit very often.
Nope. Subscribe to Mike. Humanist Report. Let's move on. This video is about how young people is winning over young people. How Zohran Mamdani is winning over young people. That's what this video is about. He's winning the youth. Let's do it.
Zohran Mamdani loses. I think I've given up on the Democratic Party. Zohran Mamdani loses. I think I've given up on the Democratic Party at this point.
I think I'm just going to completely give up on the idea of anyone having anything good ever.
This could really happen. I don't know. It would mean so much.
Yo, for real, that's how a lot of young people feel, bro, including me and Mike.
At the time that I record this video, the votes have already been cast in New York City's mayoral race, and we don't yet know the results, and we probably won't know for a little bit. But as you saw, young people, young men in particular, who Democrats are spending $20 million to win back, are very clearly excited about Zohran Mamdani, and it's not just young men, to be clear, it's young people in general. A poll from Emerson shows that Mamdani has a 34-point advantage among voters between the ages of 18 and 49, and young people have absolutely dominated early voting in New York City. As David Hogg points out, the same establishment that is spending millions to destroy Zohran will say in a few months that we need to spend millions on polling and testing to win back young people. Open your goddamn eyes, it's free. Thank you, he's exactly right. The Democratic Party establishment has spent millions to stop Mamdani, and they're doing what they always do whenever their preferred establishment pick is in trouble. They tried out the dusty-ass Clintons in some last-ditch effort to crush the hopes and dreams of young people, and in 2016 and 2020, the Democratic presidential primaries, we saw this same dynamic play out, where the establishment mobilized to stop the preferred candidate of young progressive people. And what they don't understand is that these actions don't just have temporary election effects. Like, they're not just momentarily disappointed. They have lasting effects. It's left young people permanently cynical and disillusioned, specifically now that Trump is in office again, because we're left wondering what could have been had the Democratic Party not fucked us over. But the good news is that young men on TikTok have made it very clear that the outcome of this...
Remember, they fucked us over with Bernie Sanders both times. Bernie Sanders could have easily won, and like the DNC kept fucking rigging everything, giving answers to Hillary beforehand and debates, and bro, it's like giving her all the money, not supporting Bernie at all, giving more airtime to the Democratic candidates that aren't Bernie. It's like, bro, they do every single fucking trick in the book to get every asshole elected besides the people the young people like.
Election could change everything. If Zohran wins, they're back on board with the Democratic Party. But if he loses, they might be permanently done. So all of the Democrats currently spending lots of money to try to win back these types of voters, well, here's some free advice for you.
Zohran Mamdani loses. I think I've given up on the Democratic Party at this point. Do you understand that no left-leaning progressive young person is going to break to vote for Cuomo in New York City if they already are like fervently Mamdani? There's no reason for them to. Because if Cuomo wins, all it proves to them is that they will always go unheard. But it doesn't go the other way. I really don't know what the split is realistically of like Cuomo hopefuls who would vote for Mamdani, but I think it's many, many multiples over the other way. I think if Cuomo wins the primary, I think that there will be a Republican mayor of New York next. I really believe this. And it will only be because of the Democratic Party's arrogance. The people like Bill Clinton, who came out of their way to say, don't elect this socialist brown guy. That's all it is, too. They don't want to see a socialist Muslim person rule New York City. And that is bullshit, because Mamdani represents the reality of what America is much more than Andrew fucking Cuomo does.
As soon as you say we're going to tax the rich, that's when the phone calls start. That's when the kind of backdoor deals start happening and the alliances form and the billionaires go into overdrive where they're like, oh, well, we can't have that. We can't have a guy that wants to actually help people and spend our money doing it. So, like, if he loses, I'm really gonna lose I'm seriously gonna lose hope, you know? Like, if it comes down to establishment super PAC money being able to just push out Islamophobia and like McCarthy Red Scare style tactics against anyone who's like more left than Joe Biden, like that is going to just disillusion me to like the idea of ever running a legitimate political campaign that just wins on policy and not on propaganda.
Right.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high or count my chickens before they hatch, but there's something kind of indescribable happening right now. There was an Emerson poll that came out today that shows Mamdani winning in the final round, but it's not that specifically. It's that twice the amount of people have shown up to early voting than did in 2021. And the largest voting demographic is my age range, 25 to 34-year-olds. And the thing is, you can kind of just feel it in the city. The amount of people who are motivated, the amount of people moving, the amount of people canvassing out there talking about it. I had a conversation on a train with like a much older lady about it. It just really feels like despite all the money going into Cuomo's ads and flyers, that there's a real energy, like real people, so many real people behind Zohran Mamdani.
Real people.
This could really happen. I don't know. It would mean so much.
Now, there were plenty of other TikToks about this, but I chose those three in particular because they encompass the range of emotions that I myself feel. If Mamdani loses, then it's just further confirmation that nothing good is possible in this godforsaken country, even if you have the best candidate possible. But if he wins, we'll have hope, perhaps for the first time in half a decade. But the thought that he might win is scary because, as that last guy said, we're terrified about getting our hopes up. So even though it looks like he might win, I don't want to think that because I just feel like after having my hopes and dreams crushed again and again by the Democratic Party establishment,
we're like in an abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. Like, they fucking destroyed the left. They shit on us. They spit on us. They tell us we're the reason they lose everything. Meanwhile, we're the reason why they win. They win when they go on our policies. They win when they follow Bernie Sanders. But no, they just fucking spit on us, dude. They're literally an abusive ass, like, corporate, shitty, you know. Bro, we need to take over the Democratic Party, dude.
I can't deal with the heartbreak once again. And Cameron Kasky put it best in an appearance on MSNBC, and he wasn't necessarily talking about Mamdani here specifically, even though he does support Mamdani too, but he was speaking to a broader problem with the Democratic Party.
I think the Democratic Party keeps getting served issues we can win on a silver platter and just kind of turning them away. If we were staunchly anti-war, boom, skyrocketing popularity. If we really, really took it to the oligarchy, skyrocketing popularity.
But the problem is they're not anti-war and they're not anti-oligarchy, and that's the problem that we have with the Democratic Party.
And then they're like, why won't your generation vote for us? Well,
he's right. I mean, they're spending so much money to study how to talk to young men when that's unnecessary because the answer is right in front of their fucking faces. Young people simply want what older generations had, the ability to buy a house, to be able to graduate and not get bogged down by debt. But they want more than what you had. They want the next generation after them to do even better than previous generations. They want healthcare that's free at the point of service like every other country. We want you to stop supporting Israel's genocide in Gaza. Democrats don't need to learn how to talk to young men. They just need to learn how to listen. And not just to young men, to be clear, to listen to women and trans people and black voters who've been the backbone of the Democratic Party but somehow have no influence over policy at all. Think about it. Millions of people took to the streets in 2020 after George Floyd was murdered, and nothing came of that. It's fuck you after...
Yeah, no laws, no nothing, no protections. Just the guy went to jail.
Fuck you combined with no introspection whatsoever after defeat, coupled with confusion about why nobody likes them, in addition to their hubris and elitism that makes the party so goddamn insufferable. It's so obvious right now why the Democratic Party is loathed that even Obama alum at neoliberal headquarters can see it.
You have to admit that what Mamdani has done is to build a very inspiring campaign that has energized young people for a mayoral race in a way in which no one has seen in a very long time. While that's happening, you have seen this panic among the Democratic establishment, not just in New York, but outside of New York. You have all these centrist Democrats saying, you know, this is going to cost us races and we can't have a Democratic socialist. And once again, the Democratic establishment is circling the wagons. They have a super PAC funded by billionaires running just nonstop negative ads against Mamdani. You know, we're all having this conversation like, how do we get young people to stick with Democrats? How do we win them back? And then every single time there's
we
a
shit on
candidate they get
them.
Excited about, some members of the Democratic establishment and billionaires get together to try to torpedo that candidacy. To do that is bad. To do it for Andrew Cuomo is really unforgivable. You're doing it for someone that the entire Democratic Party leadership, including the President of the United States at the time, wanted to resign from the governorship because he sexually harassed 11 women. He abused his power, involved in this nursing home scandal, and everyone's getting behind that. The idea that we are more scared about a Democratic socialist as the mayor of New York than Andrew Cuomo with his record of corruption and sexual harassment is insane.
I never thought that I'd say this after watching a Pod Save America segment, but well said. But the problem is that, as we now know, the Democratic Party doesn't actually think that they need to change anything because they know that not being Republicans is enough. After 4 years of Trump, they know voters will come running back to them with open arms. And even though those same people who run back to them might stay home the next election after 4 more years of disappointment, Democrats know that They just have to wait a little bit longer after each subsequent election cycle for the disappointment to fade away. And they're naturally going to become more popular once Americans are reminded again how disastrous Republicans are. And we know why the Democratic Party is the way that they are, because their core constituency isn't us, it's their billionaire donors.
Yep.
But it's so much more than that. And a TikToker who also supports Mamdani explained really well how the party apparatus is functionally a business, and understanding this will make their behavior a lot more digestible.
What you need to understand is that Zohran Mamdani is running a political campaign. Andrew Cuomo is running a business. Through lobbies and PACs and donations, Cuomo has raised, I believe, over $30 million. And as a business, that's a very successful enterprise. And you have to understand that that is how the Democratic Party operates, because that's not static money, right? That is money that is coming into Cuomo's campaign from donors and then going out into lobbyists and campaign consultants and people in an office somewhere making mailers. And there are thousands of individuals who are getting a paycheck because of the way that Cuomo is operating his business. And all of those individuals are in some way related to the Democratic establishment or are related to a PAC that is then related back to the Democratic establishment. The Democratic Party is in the business game. They are not in the political campaign game. And it is imperative for the Democratic Party for Cuomo to win, because if he wins, then the business keeps going. If Mamdani wins, they can't guarantee that that business is going to happen. They're going to try. They will be up his ass to try to turn him into the business they want him to be, but they know if Cuomo is in office, he is the businessman for them. He'll keep talking to the big donors. He'll be on the phone every single day trying to elicit campaign contributions. He'll invite the bigwigs to galas and balls. He will give them undue influences in his campaign agenda, in his political agenda, because he wants to make sure that he is running that successful business for the Democratic Party. This is why the party is doing everything they can to stop Mamdani from winning, because he is not in the business of politics. He is running a political campaign that is trying to deconstruct that political business. You have to keep this in the forefront of your brain. Politics in our capitalist society isn't about issues or legislation or laws. Politics is a business, and both for the Democratic and Republican parties, business is booming.
And that makes sense. So it's not that they're stupid or they don't know what voters want. It's that they're corrupt and don't want to give voters what they want because that conflicts with what their donors want. And this corruption is taking place out in the open. We can all see it. So if you're a millennial like myself, for your entire adult life, you've watched democracy become increasingly commodified. Sometimes you've been priced out of your community. You've seen income and wealth inequality surpass Gilded Age levels. You've seen large multinational corporations solidify their stronghold over our government and block even modest efforts to mitigate climate change. We don't even know if we're going to have a future at this point. Should we prepare for our retirement, or will we be dead due to climate apocalypse? Like, you've been working the same job, but your wage hasn't increased. So, I mean, like, logically, we're deducing that the system, capitalism, has caused all of our pain and suffering. That's the problem. Hence why so many young people reject it altogether. It's why social democrats like Bernie Sanders, AOC, Zohran Mamdani are so popular among young people, millennials, Zoomers, because these candidates are targeting the very system that has fucked us over again and again and again. So it's insulting for the Democratic Party establishment to repeatedly prioritize their business over our future. And it's why young people hate them. But here's the thing. The Democratic Party establishment only has power so long as we give it to them. Anti-socialist, Islamophobic fear-mongering is utilized by elites because it works. This propaganda convinces...
That is so fucked up. They literally took an image of Zohran Mamdani. They lengthened his fucking beard. They made his beard all thick and shit. And dark. They made him... try to make him look scarier. Oh my god, dude.
Older, more centrist Democratic Party voters to reject the preferred candidate of progressives and young people, and it works. And I understand that socialism is scary to older voters who grew up during the Cold War, but I'm going to be very blunt. I don't give a fuck about your fears. Get over it. My generation graduated...
Grow up, motherfuckers.
...to the Great Recession and has been fucked over by the system again and again and again for the entirety of our lives. It's not working for us. So if older voters refuse to let the Democratic Party become the vehicle for change young people want it to be, they have to understand that they are complicit with the rise of fascism. It's either socialism or fascism. That's the two options. Pro-capitalist neoliberalism isn't creating winning coalitions, clearly. So It's time to switch it up if you actually want to defeat fascists once and for all. And I get that there's millions of dollars being spent against Mamdani, as well as a coordinated smear campaign by media elites like Stephen Colbert, who try to portray Mamdani as some scary Muslim anti-Semite. Fuck you for that, by the way, Colbert. But at the end of the day, Mamdani is simply saying he wants the city to be more affordable. If you say no to that message, then stop complaining about the cost of living. Stop complaining about things getting worse. Stop complaining about young people not voting, because your support for the establishment candidate over progressives again and again has permanently disillusioned them. So yes, I am blaming the Democratic Party establishment, but I'm also blaming voters if they don't vote the way that is logical in this instance. Having said that, it's entirely possible that enough Democratic voters finally do see the game that's being played and how they're being duped every single election. As Newsweek reports, so many Democratic Party voters are fed up with the establishment's bullshit that almost half want an entirely new party. That is a stunning number. Moreover, 6 in 10 Democrats now say that the party needs new leadership. So if Democratic Party voters really are as dissatisfied with the status quo as they say they are, prove it. You can prove it right now with this election. You have a clear choice between 2 very different candidates, and the outcome of this race could determine the direction of the Democratic Party going forward. You have the choice between Andrew Cuomo, a corrupt sex pest who resigned in disgrace, whose policies killed old people in nursing homes, who doesn't give a fuck about you, who's also an attorney for war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu, and then you have Zohran Mamdani, a young, charismatic progressive who's
Fuck Cuomo. I hope he gets tried in The Hague. Hope he gets a war criminal trial.
Supports policies to make the lives of
For supporting Netanyahu.
regular people better. The choice could not be more clear. And if the pervert who's supported by other perverts, specifically Epstein associates like Bill Clinton and Glenn Dubin, prevails, that might actually be the final fuck you that the Democratic Party establishment gets to give to young people. I'm not saying that there will never be another candidate that galvanizes young people again, but when the choice is so clear, perhaps as clear as it'll ever be, I genuinely don't think the cynicism this will instill in young people and progressives if Mamdani loses will be reversible. So the Democratic Party establishment obviously have made their choice. But Democratic Party voters, they don't have to go along with the choice that the establishment has pre-selected for them, right? So I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I do know that the outcome of this race will be incredibly consequential. It'll either cement the Democratic Party's descent into irrelevance or change their trajectory and breathe new life into a party that is dying. The choice is yours, New York City voters, and I sure hope you didn't fuck this up for us.
Make
but
the
we'll
right
find out soon.
choice. Make the right choice. Let's move on. Zohran Mamdani win triggers colossal meltdown. Let's drink their tears. Here we go. There we go.
I don't want to go here, but Gotham. Have you seen where
Gotham!
what Batman is up against in Gotham, and what the guy running for mayor is up against? That's what it reminds me of. They're taking Wall Streeters and making them walk out onto the ice in the East River.
Yeah.
They're doing this to Wall Streeters. Look what they're doing to Wall Streeters. This is what they're doing to New York Wall Streeters, dude.
They look thirsty! Well, let's give them something to drink! To the cliffs!
Not the Wall Streeters, bro. What are you doing to the Wall Street? The Wall Streeters, dude. Bro, the Wall Street, bro. The Wall Street people, no. That's what this guy makes it sound like, dude. The Wall Street, they're pushing them into the ice.
They're taking Wall Streeters and make him walk out onto the ice.
Wall Street.
And then they fall through.
Yep,
I mean, there is a class warfare.
What the fuck are these people doing? They're like hallucinating crimes of socialism or something.
So what's happened here, I think,
eat
is
the rich type.
Oh, eat the rich.
There's a division
Eat
within
the
the Democratic
rich.
Party in New York City,
Yes.
and New York State, and it's emblematic of the division that we see nationally. How far left does the Democratic Party want to go?
All the way.
Sitting in the chair you were.
We want to go all the way to the left, dude. We want to go all the way to the left, man. We want to be the max left.
In yesterday, and she said the business community is terrified.
Oh,
describing
capitalism.
it almost as a panic attack.
The new mayor, potentially, of New York is going to freeze.
Bro, capitalists are scared right now. My uncle who rolls cigars and shit, and he's scared right now. This guy's eye is creepy, dude. What the fuck's going on there, eh? Is he an alien?
Sitting in the chair you were in yesterday, and she said the business community is terrified. I mean, describing it almost as a panic attack.
The new mayor, potentially, of New York is going to freeze the rents, and everybody eats for free, so they don't have to worry.
That's not true.
Yeah. But how about the rich? No,
People don't eat for free. He's gonna do reduced grocery stores that have reduced costs. He's also gonna freeze the rent for rent controlled apartments, which is like a million apartments, a few million.
no, well, no. Get shot? No, yes.
Let's bring in New York City business owner Richie Romero
Don't threaten me with a good time, buddy.
to react to this. What was your initial reaction when you heard about this victory?
Honestly, I didn't sleep because I had to talk a lot of people off ledges last night that were calling me nonstop, moving out of New York, etc.
Really?
Oh, I love the tears.
No need to talk him off the ledge, brother. Let him jump. That was just a tiny, tiny little fraction of the enormous shitstorm that ensued after Zohran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo in New York City's mayoral race. And my favorite thing ever is this allegation that the working class is waging class warfare against the wealthy. I'm here to confirm that we are indeed doing just that.
Bro, the wealthy has started. The wealthy has been waging a class war since forever.
Days of the wealthy waging an asymmetric war against the working class are over. These oligarchs have taken everything from us: our financial security, our system of governance, the habitability of our planet, our futures, and we are here to take it back from them. And as panicked as they're feeling right now, they should feel thankful that it happened electorally, because with the way things were going, it felt like the peasants were on the verge of breaking out the pitchforks and foregoing the democratic process altogether, if you know what I mean. So in some ways, these wealthy slobs should be thanking Mamdani, because his method of change is preferable to a French-style revolution, which is what a significant number of Americans were ready for since things have been going so bad.
Oui, revolution. Democracy has won today.
And seeing that they had no expectation whatsoever that our political system was even capable of producing a victory like this. But Mamdani's win has reinvigorated a portion of the population who is just ready to give up on America altogether, myself included, admittedly. And every single centrist, neoliberal Democrat should be shitting their pants right now, because this proves that once and for all, the energy of the Democratic Party is with the progressive wing of the party.
Yes.
And that bodes really well for the future of the Democratic Party. Now, I've got so many more reactions to share with you, but I first want to take a look at an analysis from CNN's data analyst, Harry Enten, who confirms that Mamdani's win is not some sort of a fluke. In fact, data indicates that he is representing a new direction that the base wants to take the Democratic Party in.
Let me tell you, this was a political earthquake that should have the Democratic establishment running scared. What are we talking about here? Well, New York City primary upsets like Mamdani's, this is truly one for the record books. There are really only two that I could think of that are anything like this, and that was back in '89 for mayor when David Dinkins won over three-term mayor Ed Koch. Koch was running for a fourth term. The voters said, there was big turnout then, just like there was big turnout last night. And of course, more recently, if you want to take a look at a national picture, think back to 2018, New York's 14th Democratic primary going for Congress, when AOC beat House Dem Caucus Chair Joe Crowley. This, to me, is very much like that.
We're gonna eat the rich. In a non-violent, peaceful way, we're gonna eat the rich. We're gonna eat the rich gently. with love. We're going to give you health care. We're going to give you free buses. We're going to lower the housing prices. We're going to build more housing. We are going to let immigrants in. We're going to lift the sanctions on Cuba. Oh, the Cuban government is going to be friends with us. The Gazan genocide, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Gazan genocide. Israel, I'm sorry, you're on your own under the socialism. You're on your own. You did war crimes, buddy, I'm sorry. Netanyahu, Biden, Trump, you all gotta go to The Hague. I'm sorry, war crimes. You did war crimes, buddy, I'm sorry. Oh, man, I fucking love it. Let's go, dude.
Energizing young voters, energizing voters on the left, and providing what truly was a historic night last night in Democratic circles.
And you know, look, on paper, this is a mayor's race. This is also New York City, special city. But is this more a New York City thing, or is this more of a sign of a larger national trend when it comes to the Democratic Party?
Yeah, just like AOC's victory in 2018, this did happen locally, but I think you can take it up nationally. What are we talking about here? Well, you know, you think about Democratic establishment, you think about Democratic Party leaders, pretty much all of them were behind Andrew Cuomo, but the bottom line is the Democratic base is fed up, done with
you fucking losers. That 24% of Democrats gotta go. Go join the fucking Republicans. Go join the Republicans. Go start your own party. Go call it the fucking corporate cocksucker party. Go get out of here, you damn cucks. Go call it the Cenk Uygur drink beer with right winger party. Get out of here. We don't need you guys. That 24%, you guys suck, dude.
Democratic establishment, this is true in New York, it's true nationally. Democrats who say their party leaders should be replaced. Look at this. This is a recent poll from Reuters Ipsos. 62% of Democrats nationally say their party leaders should be replaced. Party leaders like Andrew Cuomo, party leaders like Jim Clyburn, who of course endorsed Andrew Cuomo. You think about all the Democrats that were behind Andrew Cuomo in the establishment. The Democratic base is fed up with them, and the bottom line is nationally, the vast majority of Democrats think that their party leaders should be replaced. But it's more than this, right? Of course, Mamdani ran a pretty far left campaign, right, compared to what we normally see in Democratic circles. But the bottom line is, you talked to me 20, 30 years ago, there was no way I thought a Democratic socialist could win a nomination for mayor in New York or nationally. But look, Democrats who identify as liberal nationally, in 1994 is 25%. You go to 2004, 33%. 2014, 43%. Now the majority of Democrats identify as liberal. If there are Democratic establishment folks who think this is just going to be contained in New York, I say this is a warning sign to you. It very much may not be.
What is this feeling? Is this hope? Is it optimism? I don't know what to do with these emotions. The last time I felt this way was after Bernie Sanders won the Nevada caucus in a landslide in 2020, and I wish that I could capture this feeling and put it in a bottle and save it for when I need it the most, because like this is a high that you chase after that you can never find. But I feel rejuvenated now, almost like this spark of hope has been reignited in my heart. And I know I'm not alone. I know you all feel the same. But I am forcing myself to be a little bit more cautious here because it's not over until it's over. And I say this because in 2021, socialist India Walton pulled off a shocking upset as well in the Buffalo Democratic mayoral primary, and she defeated the incumbent Byron Brown. But he subsequently launched a long-shot write-in campaign and took lots and lots of money from Republican donors in an effort to stop her in the general election. And unfortunately, it worked. So I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, but the Buffalo...
Yeah, we can't allow that shit to happen, dude. We cannot allow a write-in campaign or Andrew Cuomo or Eric Adams to do none of that shit.
Race is one of many cautionary tales warning us that the Democratic Party machine isn't just going to go silently into the night. They will do everything in their power to stop Mamdani in the general election. You already have Eric Adams running as an independent, and I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Cuomo did the same thing. So we still have to fight to make sure that this win is indeed a win. But I will say that the thing that's changed since 2021 with India Walton's race is that the Democratic Party's base has seemingly become much more radicalized in the second Trump term, and they understand finally that milquetoast corporate Democrats aren't going to save us from fascism. But the general election is still a ways off, and I think that we owe it to ourselves to enjoy this. We should take the time, at least for a little bit, to be the biggest sore winners in the history of sore winners because of how much bullshit we've had to endure for so fucking long. And that is what we are going to do right now in this video, my friends. It's time.
We won. This is our fucking party. We are the Democrats.
To gloat because so many centrists like Matt Iglesias.
Look at this egghead motherfucker.
And so many conservatives like Charlie Kirk are having.
Ew, bro. This guy has a weird face. Either he looks like a character from like Annoying Orange, right? Like, look at his face. It's like too small. It doesn't really fit on his head.
Meltdowns of epic proportions today, and their tears are providing me with much needed fuel. So let's start with the reactions from hysterical right-wingers who were clearly flooded with a spectrum of emotions ranging from racism to xenophobia. And when you add in the element of socialism, I think it's safe to say that their heads were this close to exploding. For example, Jay Aubrey shared this screenshot from
let's
Fox
go,
News,
Jay
where
Aubrey.
they fearmonger about Mamdani's socialist promises, including no-cost childcare, baby baskets to newborn.
Baby baskets. Oh, the humanity. These people. They're demons. They want baby baskets.
And a $30 minimum wage. Oh no, whatever will New Yorkers do with all of that extra money in their pockets? They must be horrified at the thought of living a little bit more comfortably. So sad. Now on Twitter, AOC shared the cover of the New York Post, which says NYC SOS, who will save the city after radical socialist batters Cuomo in Dem mayoral primary. And she juxtaposed that cover with the cover after she was elected. And she adds, billionaires use the same scare tactics every time to divide working people. It's all to create hysteria and keep us from achieving the affordable, dignified life we deserve. We won't fall for it anymore. Here's to working towards a safe, welcoming, affordable future for all. Now, when you seek out the responses from conservatives on Twitter, that's, of course, where they really let their freak flags fly. For example, we have Pastor Greg Locke.
Oh my God, this guy's a literal fucking Christian nationalist, evangelical. He thinks Israel's gonna like blow up and all the Jews gotta go there and Jesus Christ gonna come back and the rapture's gonna happen. And bro, these people are evil.
Saying New York City has fallen. The demonic sounds of Islamic prayer calls will soon be heard throughout the streets. The trash will pile higher than ever. Jews and Christians will be hated. Rape will skyrocket. NYC will be the next London.
What the fuck?
My God.
What's wrong with London?
Keep crying, asshole. Charlie Kirk says 24 years ago, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on
A lot of those people were from Saudi Arabia, who is for some reason our ally. The 9/11 people. Most of them were literally from Saudi Arabia. And there's a lot of evidence that like Saudi Arabia was involved, like the government, you know. So I don't know why you're just blaming it all on Muslims. All Muslims are not the same.
9/11. Now,
and like this is just fucked up, bro. Like even if it was Saudi Arabians, like who cares? You don't blame it on all of them.
Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City. I mean, he's just going straight up like full mask off, clan level racism here. Jack Posobiec says, a foreign-born Muslim socialist just won the primary for New York City mayor. Are we allowed to talk about mass immigration now?
I hope Zohran Mamdani puts all these fucking shitbags, these right-wing shitbags, I hope he puts all of them on like watch lists, so if they go to New York City, they'll get like fucking like, I don't know, black bagged, you know what I mean? We can re-educate them into like nice thoughts and beautiful beliefs and loving each other and loving community. We can just like we can remove the fascism out of their brain. That's what I'm trying to say. We can like re-educate them, make them be nicer people, which is basically just like prison.
No, you're not. Mike Cernovich adds,
better than prison. I want better than prison, of course.
Marxist Hamas lover cleared another hurdle to become New York City's next mayor. Laura Loomer tweets, there will be another 9/11 in New York City and Zohran Mamdani will be to blame. These people are genuinely insane. Stephen Miller tweeted, NYC is the clearest warning yet of what happens to us.
This dude's a literal fucking goose-stepping Nazi. Literally. He's the reason why there's all these ICE deportations happening. He's the one breaking the Constitution by like not giving people their due process.
society when it fails to control migration. Actually, he's an example of the good that comes out of immigration. Marjorie Taylor Greene says this hits hard, and she shared a picture of the Statue of Liberty wearing a burqa.
Really shitty AI image, bro. I hate AI. Like, AI is so whack. The worst people use it.
I mean, they don't even care what the Statue of Liberty says about immigrants, so it's ironic that she
Right.
is acting as if the Statue of Liberty and its message has been disregarded when conservatives are the ones that did that. Gary Kasparov says, socialism is like polio. It comes back when people forget about the horrible damage it did last time. Actually, you're thinking of fascism, Gary. Megan McCain says, conservatives have no place in New York City, and the ones who argue my point defiantly still living there are going to fuck around.
Yeah,
Fuck up and take it.
Oh, fuck.
No
My
place
bad.
in New York City, and even Miller tweeted, Gary Kasparov says, socialism is like polio.
No, fascism is like polio. It comes back when people forget about it. Like, literally, fascism happened 100 years ago, and we're literally doing it all over again with our government. Trump is literal fucking fascist. He literally invited Elon Musk, who literally did a Nazi salute on fucking stage behind the podium, the presidential podium. So who the fuck's the fascist, bitch? You guys are the fascists. Socialism's not bad. Socialism don't do fascism. Socialism don't be like deporting people. And you're like, what are you talking about? These people are fucking delusional, fascist, fucking supporting shitbags, dude.
Comes back when people forget about the horrible damage it did last time.
That's why I hate people that don't like socialism or shit on socialists really bad. Because it's like, are you a fascist? Like people that really shit on socialism and communism. Like, a lot of time, if you trace their politics back, it really seems like they're fascist and like Nazi supporting and shit. It's like, or like they're misinformed on what socialism is. A lot of people are misinformed because of the Red Scare.
Actually, you're thinking of fascism, Gary. Megan McCain says conservatives have no place in New York City, and the ones who argue my point defiantly still living there are going to fuck around and find out. Laura Ingram says, you think NYC's turn to socialism and communism is just a New York thing? It's not. Uncontrolled immigration, greenlit since the 80s by the Uniparty, is remaking every American community. We imported anti-Americanism, cultivated it in schools.
More racism.
Now comes the poisonous crop. Well, I, for one, can't wait to see that crop bloom even more, Laura. Ben Shapiro says, you did it. You finally did it, you maniacs. You blew it up. And he shared a picture of the Statue of Liberty on the beach from Planet of the Apes. I feel like this is much more restrained than what he's feeling internally right now. So he's trying to play it off jokingly, but you know he's really nervous deep down. Matt Walsh tweets, 40% of New York City's population is foreign-born, not just second and third generation immigrants.
Nazi.
Foreign-born. Almost half the city wasn't born in this country. NYC isn't an American city anymore by any reasonable definition of the term. It's a tragedy and a disgrace. Just like saying the quiet part loud that he hates all immigration. And finally, Patrick Bet-David chimed in saying, Florida just got a little more crowded. Okay. Shut up, Patrick, you dumb bitch. So as you can see, they don't know what they should be more mad about. The fact that he's a socialist or a Muslim or an immigrant, it's just all so triggering to them that they can't help but seethe with rage. I think that we can do better, though. We need a gay immigrant, trans communist vegan from outer space
For real.
to win the next election so they really lose their shit. I'm talking about levels of woke that will rip a hole in the space-time continuum, because these same people, they just elected Donald Trump, a criminal rapist who tried to overthrow the 2020 election. I'm sorry,
Literally.
but they can permanently shut the fuck up forever about American politics. Their input should be disregarded in perpetuity. If you pushed for Donald Trump to become president, you have no right to complain about extremism or any candidate on the left ever again. These people are destroying this fucking country. So it's hilarious that they think we care at all about their hysterical opinions. Hey, conservatives, suck my dick. If I wanted to hear an asshole, I'd fart. We are not stopping until we find the reincarnation of Che Guevara in this bitch, okay?
Hey,
We're going to give
let's
your dumbasses healthcare
go.
and education and childcare and a habitable planet, and you're going to shut the fuck up and
take it.
But I'd be remiss to not talk about all of the liberals, the centrists, who are deeply distraught over the Democratic Party's voters finally choosing something new for a change. Now, Donica tuned into News Nation to see how Chris Cuomo was taking the news about his brother's cheeks getting clapped by a Democratic socialist, And his face says it all. And the chyron is the cherry on top, reading, "Extremism has taken root in America." But what's funny is that chyron and his face was actually just a coincidence, because I looked up this segment and he wasn't talking about Mamdani there. He was talking about extremist socialists like AOC who, quote, support Hamas. But I think that that's just a small taste of what's to come. So I, for one, can't wait to see how he reacts to the end of his family's political dynasty by an extremist like Zohran Mamdani. Hey, Chris, I say this on behalf of all so-called extremists on the left. Fuck you.
Fuck you, dude.
Fuck your brother. Fuck your whole family.
Right.
Go be with your fellow Islamophobes in the Republican Party, because you're no longer needed here. This is our party now, bitch. Cope and seethe. Cry. But this morning, on Morning Joe, Vodka Snowflake took a video from his TV on his phone, and the audio is terrible here. But if you listen carefully, Scarborough's comments genuinely made me laugh out loud.
The numbers that came in last night, shocking. And here you have the New York Times, of course, with an editorial saying that the winner last night, Mamdani, is not qualified. And then you have the Wall Street Journal, of course, just saying this is no time to elect a socialist, who's saying he's all for globalizing the infantata.
The infantata.
I don't know if that's what a lot of people in New York City think they need right now, but it sure looks like that's what they think inside the Democratic primary.
Yeah, it is truly a stunning result.
He missaid antifada. He said infitata.
What a lot of people in New York, I mean, yeah, that's for globalizing the infantata.
The infantata. What a dumb fuck.
The socialist who's saying he's all for globalizing the infantata.
He's trying to pull the old anti-Israel. He's trying to say, oh, he doesn't support Israel because he said antifada. He didn't say that. He didn't say antifada. He said under the Holocaust Museum, antifada under Arabic meant to shake off or to like rise up. That's it. And they're trying to say, oh, he's anti-Israel. He said infitata, fajitas.
The socialist who's saying he's all for globalizing the
infantata. What a dumb fuck,
yeah,
bro.
I don't know if that's what a lot of people in New York City think they need right now, but it's sure.
I think they do think that because they voted for him. I think a lot of Jews voted for Mamdani, dude. Like, stop being a fucking racist bigot.
It's like that's what they think inside the Democratic primary.
Yeah, it is truly a stunning result in New York.
Mamdani wants to globalize the infantata.
Yeah, what a dumb fuck, dude.
Oh, I love that so much. I think what he means is that Mamdani wants to give cribs to infants. Ta-da, we did it. Something like that. At least it sounded like he said infantata, but it made me laugh hysterically. Unreasonably so for some reason. But I love how he's trying to remain calm, cool, and collected as if he's not dying inside. And part of it is I think he's trying to not get into a leftist cope compilation, but unfortunately for him, he gave us just enough to make the cut here. I'm so sorry, Joe. And while I was looking for the full version of that clip to get better audio, I couldn't find it, but I did find another point where he brought up Mamdani, and guess what he referenced once again?
Oh, no, he said it again.
Listen, I think we're going to hear more, Rev, about him saying that some people who say they need to globalize the infantata is not a bad thing. Is not anti-Semitic. I think we're going to be hearing an awful lot more about that. We're going to be hearing about his economic plans.
It's called antifada. Antifada. You dipshit. You dumb fuck. You dummy.
Globalize the infantata is
globalize the
some people who say they need to globalize the infantata is
globalize the infantata
is not a bad thing. Is not anti-Semitic. I think we're going to be hearing an awful lot more about that. We're going to be hearing about his economic plans, a socialist in New York. There's going to be, I think we're going to have a very competitive, interesting general election.
He is so goddamn mad, but he's trying so hard to not sound like it. Hey, Joe, go back to the Republican Party, my friend.
Get out of here.
We don't want you here in the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party base doesn't agree with you. They agree with Zohran on the issue of Israel-Palestine, and your disingenuous anti-Semitism allegations aren't persuasive to anyone anymore. They only make you look desperate. So get the fuck back to your own party. See, the problem is that these center-right Republicans, they all fled the Republican Party once the GOP went full fascist, and then they pushed leftists out of what should be our party. when they should have been trying to take over the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party. See, we have to do everything in our power to drive these people out of the party, kick their asses to the curb, and then lock the door behind them.
Yep.
Because for so long, the left has been the ones who've been marginalized, who felt like they weren't welcome in the Democratic Party. But now is the time to make it clear that they are the ones who aren't welcome. This is our party now.
We are the Democratic Party, y'all. Y'all gotta get the fuck out of here. Y'all gotta go somewhere else. I'm sorry. We are the Democratic Party. Leftist, socialist, communist, anarchist, social democrats, democratic socialist, progressives. Not no fucking corporate Democrat. Not no fucking moderate. Not no fucking centrist. Not no fucking like corporate I said that already. Nothing. None of that. I'm sorry. Go to the right wing. Go to the right wing. We don't need the money corruption shit. I'm sorry. That's ruining the whole country.
But I've got to be even more clear about this. Again, Joe Scarborough, you are not welcome in this party. I don't care if you consider yourself a moderate or what you identify as. There's no room for genocide denialism in this party, so fuck off. But I've got even more reactions from centrists who seemingly hate socialists more than fascists. For example, we have this Twitter user reacting to the DNC chair congratulating Zohran, saying, "We're congratulating a socialist? We're so cooked." Lauren Summers says, "I am profoundly alarmed about the future of the DNC and the country by yesterday's NYC anointment of a candidate who failed to disavow a globalize the intifada slogan and advocated..."
You mean to globalize the infantada? You said it wrong, guy.
Trotskyite economic policies. I hope candidate Zohran Mamdani, who showed great ability to learn and adapt during his campaign, will continue to evolve in ways that provide much needed reassurance to people committed to a free from prejudice market economy as an American ideal. Fuck off. Gen X girls shared this exchange with Drew Pavlo, who says Zohran's election is a catastrophe for Western civilization. We are losing our country. And then somebody responds saying, "You're not an American." And then he responds to that.
Get fucked, you loser.
At saying, I am
spiritually an American. No, you're not. Get out of here.
Spiritually. Jesus Christ. Max Abrams says, "I have never wanted less to do with the Democratic Party." Fine, then fuck off.
Get out of here, dude. All of you guys, shoo. We don't want you.
Liz Wolf says, "I don't think the Zohran stands realize just how fucked this city will be when all the high earners migrate out of Jersey and Connecticut. You cannot act so entitled to other people's earnings and
all right, go to New Jersey where the tax rate is going to be the same if Zohran wins. Go to Connecticut where the tax rate is going to be basically the same.
expect them to not put up a fight. That's what the rich people are doing to poor people, you dipshit." And Zohran Mamdani, I think, specifically said that he wants to make the tax rate for rich people in New York City the same as it is for New Jersey. So
literally,
good job there looking at his policies, dipshit. You're just like knee-jerk defending rich people as if that makes you the reasonable one. It makes you the unreasonable one, Liz, so shut the fuck up. Matt Iglesias chimed in saying, "I certainly hope he follows the Fetterman Gallego Katz client trajectory."
Ew.
Yeah, that's not surprising coming from somebody who's never had a good take in his life.
Fetterman
Rachel
sucks.
Whitecoffer says NYC is...
Fetterman is trash. This is why we can't have people like this. Matthew Iglesias, that egghead earlier that we saw earlier. Their ideas are fucking trash, bro. Fetterman is trash. His brain doesn't work. He's a Republican now. Gallego sucks.
Surprising coming from somebody who's never had a good take in his life. Rachel Whitecoffer says NYC is just going to have to go through the full San Francisco experience to recover its sanity. Why don't you just join the Republicans already, Rachel? This one is good. Harry Sisson chimed in saying, "Lesson of the night. Please, Democrats, embrace social media and new media. It clearly works." Harry Sisson is pretending like he was on board with Zohran when he said nothing about Zohran. Furthermore, it's not social media that worked. It was his policies. It was his socialism. It was his refusal to kowtow to the Democrats who wanted him to support Israel. It was his condemnation of Israel's genocide. That's what did it, not media, Harry. Now, last but not least, Brianna Wu says Democrats as a brand are cooked. We're going to get the reputation of socialist terrorist cheerleaders who hate our own country.
You're not a Democrat, lady.
And will deserve it. Normies have got to reclaim our party. I spent a decade working with the far left. They kill any institution they touch. Hey, Brianna, you're the one supporting terrorists, and it's our party now, so fuck you.
She supports Israel, yeah.
I could read these comments all day. If there was a way to liquefy these tweets and inject them into my veins, I would actually do that, literally, because this is better than drugs. I just cannot get enough. I could read these comments all day. So to everyone watching, I don't want you to limit or filter yourselves in any way. I want you to feel emboldened. Don't be afraid to celebrate in the most insufferable way imaginable, because the only people you're going to offend are the ones responsible for our pain and suffering in the first place. So let them taste their own medicine. We all know that if Andrew Cuomo won decisively, they would be doing the same thing. So let them taste their own medicine. And most importantly, hang on to this moment and really cherish it, because we don't know how long it's going to be until we feel this way again. But if this victory is an indication of what's to come, that feeling might come sooner again than we expect.
Yay, I can't wait, bro. I want to keep winning. Let's move on to the next Cope compilation. Zohran Mamdani. Haters are getting worse. All right, y'all, let's go.
He's going to turn the prisons inside out, and he's going to turn Whole Foods into no foods.
Trashing Trump, promising a bunch of free stuff.
This is how they fearmonger. Look how the right wing works. They just fucking scare you. They scare the shit out of you with fake ass misinformation that isn't even real.
He's going to turn the prisons inside out, and he's going to turn Whole Foods into no foods.
Trashing Trump, promising a bunch of free stuff, zero experience.
Imagine a grocery store run by the city. It would be a hellhole.
His views are far closer to communism than Clintonism. This guy makes AOC look like a moderate.
He makes Eric Adams look like a conservative right-winger.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Eric Adams is a conservative right winger, you dumb fucks.
Like a conservative right-winger.
Yes, can you hear me now? Hello?
This is what the Democrat establishment's been trying to keep a lid on for decades, since Occupy Wall Street.
The Democrats have gone so far left, they're socialists now. It's President Trump that's really in the middle, looking at everybody and governing that way.
Typical of Gen Xers, Mamdani has replaced thinking with feeling, and he won big among the young vote.
He's not hiding what he's selling, but he does it in such a way, it's so slick and polished. It's like a teaser episode of Love Island. And of course, millennials get on board with this because they're sold something that Eric Adams has called snake oil. And it's much worse than that.
This is the Bernie bro, Dave Hogg, AOC faction that's now going to run wild all over the place. And you're basically giving this, I guess he's a Muslim communist from another country, City Hall in the best city in the world.
Zohran's a Muslim, and his views are staunchly anti-Israel.
A Muslim?
Not to mention his virulent anti-Zionism. And that's a very nice way of saying anti-Semitism.
So unless rich New Yorkers band together, donate a lot of money, and create a groundswell for a viable alternative to Mamdani, another great American city is going to scroll down the drain.
Jesus Christ.
As you can see, Fox News is having a normal one after New York City Democrats nominated Zohran Mamdani to be their next mayor. And I love this idea that the only way to stop him is to have rich people band together to create a groundswell of support, as if they haven't already banded together to stop him in the first place. But it's comical to think that there'd be genuine grassroots support, I guess, for rich people among working class people. Like, what would the pitch be exactly? Hey, peasants, I know that you're struggling to pay rent, but if we don't come together to stop this Muslim communist, I'm not going to be able to buy myself another yacht if this Muslim communist raises my taxes by 2%. Oh, did I mention that he's a Muslim communist? I mean, I don't think that's going to be a very good pitch. Like, it seems like a very tough sell. And I love that Republicans are also suddenly concerned about experience after electing Donald Trump, a reality television show star, twice to be president. But the hysterical shrieking that we're seeing from these dipshits actually does make me feel optimistic in a roundabout way, because they very clearly have nothing. They're doubling down on the same strategy that failed to stop him in the first place. oh, well, did you know that he's anti-Zionist, which actually means he's an anti-Semite? I'm sorry, but that disingenuous line of bullshit just doesn't work anymore. Everyone knows that anti-Zionism isn't tantamount to anti-Semitism because there's probably more Christian Zionists in the country than there are Jewish Zionists. And
Literally, and this is what Sam Cedar tried to tell Ethan Klein. And Hassan has tried to tell Ethan Klein. And Ethan Klein's a fucking Zionist because he can't get it through his head, and he keeps attacking both of them and attacking pro-Palestine people.
Criticizing Israel makes him look reasonable. It makes you look unreasonable to think that criticism of Israel is comparable to anti-Semitism. And Zohran Mamdani represents the base of the Democratic Party, who also thinks that our country shouldn't be funding Israel's genocide of the Palestinians. So needless to say, every single attack that they've lobbed at him thus far has fallen flat. But they think that if they just call him a communist more and loudly, that'll work at some point. In fact, that's what Trump did in his first tweet about Mamdani. He called him a 100% communist and with no self-awareness whatsoever said that his voice is grating and he's not very smart.
He looks terrible. He's not hot at all. I don't want to fuck him. His voice is grating. Very raspy voice. I hate it. He's not very smart. Unlike me, I'm very smart. AOC +3. Dummies all backing him.
What a dumb fuck, bro.
And then he compared him to members of Congress like AOC. Please don't do that. Don't compare him to one of the most popular political figures in the country. No, please stop, Trump. That'd be terrible. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed by that response because he didn't even come up with a nickname for Zohran. Like, you could have called him Kami Mamdani, and you didn't even take
that would have been
opportunity
good
to call him that. Like, it's just, he's lost the sauce, as some of the kids are saying nowadays. But, you know, here's the reason why his attack falls flat. Because if everyone...
Yeah, man, Trump ain't got the riz. Trump ain't got the riz no more.
...is a communist, then no one's a communist. Trump has called everyone a communist, including Joe Biden. Yes, he thinks Joseph Robinette Biden is a communist. So in calling anyone to his left a communist for so long, he's desensitized people to the point where that attack has no meaning. But I guess that if he says that Zohran is a 100% communist, then that's going to do it. Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. But I don't think that these idiots understand that they're making communism look cool in ascribing that label to Zohran Mamdani. And they do this every single time. They're highlighting how he wants to build affordable housing and freeze the rent and expand LGBTQ plus rights. And Fox and Friends brought on Eric Adams to fearmonger about his more popular policies. And they essentially gave Zohran Mamdani free advertising.
How can someone vote for this? He's a snake oil salesman.
They are so fucking out of touch. How do you not vote for this? The city is so expensive, it's barely livable. Why is it surprising to you that people want their city to be more affordable? Not everyone has money printers that they can make go burr whenever they want to buy some shit. Now, on Hannity, they did the same thing, but while all of Mamdani's extremist policies were scrolling on the side of the screen, you'll hear Mamdani's Republican opponent, Curtis Sliwa, squawk at you about random bullshit that doesn't even make sense, but just listen.
Well, just remember, the millennials now are the majority of the
Oh
population.
no, a fascist beret wearer. God fucking damn it. I'm gonna steal his style. We're gonna make it woke.
No longer the baby boomers. You have to have the ability to get millennials, which I have. As you know, Sean, I've recruited young people all over this country and all over the world to be guardian angels. And for 46 years, I've gotten them to voluntarily go out there, risk their lives, and take back the streets and the subways. I'm telling you, you go into the subway system tonight, you're taking your life into your hands.
Reality check. If you don't have those policies, sir, you're not going to get the millennials. And I'm so sorry to have to do this to you all, but I have to show people what his head looks like without the beret. Because, my God, that is utterly horrifying. It's like seeing a turtle without its shell. I'd imagine that this is what Tim Pool's head looks like. But as bad as it looks, I'm sure that the smell...
This is how you can tell a leftist between a right wing. This is how you can tell the difference between a leftist and a fucking right winger. They're all crusty and shit. I'm normal as fuck. I don't got no fucking line separating the skin and shit, and the color of my skin ain't different. Like, look at Tim Pool, always keeps the beanie on. Look at this guy, always keeps the hat on. It's like the first time he took the hat off.
even worse, which I don't want to think about. I'm sorry. And I love how Raphael responded with the perfect picture. And I mean, it somehow really does look like a cupcake when you take off the wrapper. This is just so weird. My advice to these conservatives would be to let your head breathe once in a while, okay? But before I get too sidetracked by random bullshit, as you can see, Republicans across the country, they are still frothing at the mouth, shitting their pants over Zohran Mamdani's win. Fox News is reporting that New York Republicans are warning of an imminent disaster if he wins, as if we care about what they have to say at all. And then you also have Republicans now trying to pressure Trump to invoke the unconstitutional Communist Control Act of 1954 to illegally stop Zohran from winning, something that would get shot down in courts immediately if he tried. And you even have washed up has-beens like 50 Cent coming out of the woodwork to threaten to tattle on Mamdani, I guess.
Man, shut the fuck up, 50 Cent. We'll make you fucking 10 cent, dog. We'll tax the shit out of you, bro. Shut the fuck up. Get back in line. Get out of here. You ain't no Democrat. Get out of here. Go to the fucking Republican Party, 50 Cent. You broke-ass motherfucker. We'll make you even fucking broker, bro. We'll redistribute your wealth to the poor, to the working class. Don't be stepping up to Mamdani, bro. He got soldiers.
Literally saying, quote, I'm telling Trump like a petulant fucking child.
I'm telling Trump.
When it comes to your wealth, all we really need is a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl. Just a little bit.
Hey.
I couldn't resist. I had to. Listen, I think you're going to be okay as 49 cents. But if you don't shut the fuck up, we will make it a quarter.
We'll make it
millennials, Curtis, because
we'll make it a fucking dime, bro. We'll make it a dime. 10 cents.
You are nothing. But as hysterical as some folks have been, my favorite response came from none other than Chris Cuomo, whose main critique is that Mamdani represents the left-wing version of MAGA, and he contends that this new movement forming on the left is every bit as hateful as the fascist right-wing movement that formed on the right.
The Democratic Party is now officially in MAGA mode. We are now on both sides in a period of extremism. The same way MAGA played with the prejudices of white nationalism, you're seeing an identical dynamic on the left with prejudices like tacitly supporting extreme Islamism or targeting.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Your brother supports the genocide in Israel. He supports the Prime Minister of Israel. He's literally doing free legal work for him. He also sexually harassed like fucking 13 women. He killed a bunch of old people. He's a fucking demon on the earth. Shut the fuck up. Your family dynasty should be gone. You're gross.
Getting Jews. For the right, it's migrants. For the left, it's Jews. It's fundamentalist Christians dominating the right. It's fundamentalist Islamists making headway on the left. I know that doesn't sound like Democrats, but that party is dead. What it will be reborn as, we'll see. And this is not about Muslims, at least not.
I can't wait for Mike Figueredo to eat his ass. Eat this motherfucker. Get him, bro. Cook him.
For me, it's about extremism.
Oh, so it's not about Muslims? Are you sure about that, Chris? Because you're implying that Zohran Mamdani is a jihadist because... Why? Because he doesn't support Israel dropping bombs on the heads of children in Palestine? I'm an atheist, through and through, but I agree with Zohran that Israel indeed should not be allowed to exterminate an entire group of people. Does that make me a jihadist as well, or would I fall under the category of standard anti-Semite in Chris Cuomo's book since I'm white? I mean, his argument is essentially, if you don't let Israel do a genocide, then you hate the Jews. Again, this defamatory smear did not work in the primary, and it's not going to work in the general because most Democrats of all faiths, or lack thereof, agree with Mamdani on this issue, not Chris Cuomo. As a matter of fact, his own audience doesn't agree with him, as evidenced by the fact that if you look at the comment section on that video, every single commenter is roasting the shit out of him.
Yes.
Here's some examples. We get it. You are butthurt your brother lost. So now the right-wing heel turn begins. Bill Maher will surely hire you. Who is targeting Jews? He literally just said he wouldn't visit Israel, bro. Relax. Tell your brother to stop assaulting women, and he might still have a career in politics. This is such a ludicrous overreaction and hyperbole. Like, this is exactly what someone watching this from their ivory tower of Cuomo pedigree would think about widening wealth inequality. Rich man yelling into the void because poor people are sick of people like him, LOL. Chris is highly unreasonable. Equating MAGA with progressive Dems is all you need to know about this guy who's only here because he was born with the last name. Fuck out of here. LOL, I don't care if you're a Muslim. Okay, you brought it it up, the sense of entitlement the conniving corporate freeloader class have is enormous. What personal behavior do Chris Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, and Donald Trump share? So because your brother loses an election, you disregard everything the other candidate stands for and focus directly at his religious preference? If that ain't textbook bigotry, I don't know what is, Chris. It's shameful, bro. And I kid you not, I didn't see a single comment in agreement with Chris Cuomo. I did see some Trump support.
Cook him, bro. Cook him. People are tired of this shit.
Supporters weighed in to attack him for comparing them to the left, but not a single person bought his defamatory argument about the left going full jihadi. And I think that it stings a little for Chris to know that Mamdani didn't just win, he won a mandate. As Juniper points out, Zohran Mamdani got more votes in the first round than Eric Adams got in the final round in the last election. So Chris Cuomo's sex predator brother got blown the fuck out, and he's mad about it. And I'm sure
Andrew Cuomo got his back blown, dude.
That's why he's so salty. But a lot of the establishment Democrats that are mad right now, they're mad because they're having an existential crisis, because they're trying to figure out if they're going to be the next Andrew Cuomo. And you know it's serious when Axios uses headlines worthy of YouTube titles to describe the situation, like Democratic establishment melts down over Mamdani's win in New York, and they add, quote, the top two Democratic leaders in Congress, Senator Chuck Schumer and Representative Hakeem Jeffries, both New Yorkers, declined to endorse Mamdani even as they applauded his victory. New York Representative...
You what, motherfuckers? You better endorse him. You guys are next.
Representative Laura Gillen from Nassau County called Mamdani the absolute wrong choice for New York. Representative Tom Suozzi, also from Nassau, said he had serious concerns. Representatives Pat Ryan, Josh Riley, and Richie Torres, who went as far as to say that he wouldn't run for governor if Mamdani won, all dodged reporters. Representative Dan Golden, asked if he had any thoughts on the result, told Axios, not right now. Oh, they're so mad. Major Democratic donors who poured tens of millions into a super PAC for Cuomo were having private discussions Wednesday about whether to back an independent run by Cuomo in November's general election or rally behind unpopular incumbent Mayor Eric Adams, who's also running as an independent. But as David Hogg puts it, all of these Democrats need to vote blue no matter who. Exactly. I love how they're not even entertaining the option of just sucking it up and voting for Mamdani. They're just straight up not going to support him. But I want to echo what David Hogg said here. Now is the time for Democratic unity. It's time for all of us to come together in support of the Democratic nominee for the good of the country. I get that their preferred candidate didn't win, and that's sad, but speaking from experience, that's the way shit goes sometimes. So bend the knee, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and vote blue no matter who, because now is the time to fall in line and support the Democratic Party's nominee.
Support the Democrat.
Part of the reason, though, why Democrats are so fearful right now is because lines have been drawn specifically by voters for once, and the fascist appeasing pro-genocide wing of the party, that has now officially blown up in their faces. And their brand has become so toxic to regular people that they question whether or not they're going to get Andrew Cuomo, you know, but they should really be thanking Mamdani because he breathed new life into the party that was dying. But instead, they're holding out hope that his victory was a one-off or that there's some way that they could rat fuck this election into getting Eric Adams as mayor or something. But I'm here to tell them that this was not a one-off.
Nope.
And we are not going to let them rat fuck this election as they have every other election. And Zohran himself made it clear that his victory absolutely represents a way forward for the party.
I think it is part of a larger referendum on where our party goes. And I think one of the hopes that we had from the very beginning of this campaign was to move our political instinct from lecturing to listening. You know, at the national level, after the presidential election, we saw that New York was actually the state with the largest swing in the country towards Donald Trump, 11.5 points, and that swing took place far from the caricature of Trump voters, instead taking place in the hearts of immigrant New York City. And I went to those neighborhoods. I went to Fordham Road in the Bronx and Hillside Avenue in Queens, and I asked those New Yorkers, the vast majority of whom were Democrats, why they voted for Trump and what it would take to bring them back to the Democratic Party. And again, what I heard from them was cost of living, was an inability to afford the very things they recalled being able to purchase 4 years ago. And when they told me what it would take, they said again and again a relentless focus on an economic agenda. And ultimately, in listening to them, we built a campaign that was explicitly about making this city affordable. And I think too often in politics, there's a desire to impose what you think the debate is.
He's literally giving the Democratic Party the secret Krabby Patty formula. The secret Krabby Patty secret formula. He's giving them the fucking formula, and they don't take it. They're like, oh, you're a socialist. Fuck you. No.
Upon the people that you're seeking to represent, as opposed to listening to the very issues that are making it difficult for them to keep calling the city that they love the city that they live in.
And he's exactly right. For far too long, the response from Democratic Party elites has always been, it's my way or the highway. If you don't like it, fuck off, fall in line. And they were able to impose their neoliberalism on the rest of us because they got the base to believe that they were the only ones capable of stopping Donald Trump. So they basically used Trump as a gun to our heads. And then after they weren't able to stop Donald Trump, now they're refusing to fight Donald Trump. And the base sees what's happening. They realize seemingly that they've been taken for a ride by these liars, and they're opting for something different. It's an all-out revolution within the party, and it's because people are done with the lesser of two evils because this incrementalist bullshit has not stopped Donald Trump. We are demanding politicians that actually represent us, so elected Democrats, they can either get on board or get the fuck out of the way. But if they don't get on the bus, they're getting ran over by it. You know, as for Republicans, the shrieking obviously isn't going to stop anytime soon, but Zohran proved that their fear-mongering doesn't matter if you cultivate enough genuine grassroots support. No amount of propaganda can convince people to deny their lived experience or that they shouldn't have better things. So our job as leftists right now is to just stay the course and rally behind Zohran Mamdani, defend him until we cement this win in November, and also fight for more Mamdanis like Kat Abou-Gazella, Dr. Abdul El Sayed, and Donovan McKinley.
Hey, let's go, dude. All right, CNBC, nuclear meltdown over Zohran.
Welcome everybody to Crystal Kylan, friends. Today we're going to be talking to Pastor Benjamin Dixon. He reached out to me the other week with some concerning information that I want to share with you guys, especially in light of the fact that we had what is effectively a MAGA terror attack that hit in Minnesota, where multiple Democratic lawmakers were killed, others were shot. The right has been gaslighting everybody and pretending that the person who did it is somehow lefty. And so it's a weird new environment here where we have political violence on the regular and zero accountability for it. I mean, that thing fell out of the news in like 2 days.
Yeah. Well,
maybe even a day.
Trump started a war with Iran, and yeah, then it fell off. But I mean, the fact that that sort of thing is now just becoming kind of like background noise in the way that school shootings previously used to be. I mean, Columbine was like, oh my God.
And now if there's a school shooting, it's like
barely makes the news.
Yep.
Republicans don't even bother to do thoughts and prayers anymore.
Yeah, they've given up on that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So unfortunately, we may be heading in that direction with regard to political violence.
That's right. That's right. But before we get to that, so a few things. First of all, I know, Crystal, you've been enjoying the absolute meltdown on the right over Zohran Mamdani winning the New York City mayor Democratic primary race, which makes, I mean, I think the betting markets have him at like 75 or 80% to win the whole thing.
Well, Bill Ackman is leading a write-in campaign for someone.
Good luck, fella. Good luck.
He says he's in group chats that have hundreds of millions of dollars of capital available.
That's all they have is capital. That's all they have is money. Right.
If throwing money at the problem was going to work, then Cuomo would have been the Democratic nominee.
Yeah, Cuomo outspent him like what, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1, some ridiculous. Insane.
Yep.
So anyway, the meltdown has continued, and now what we've seen is on CNBC, the financial news network, which, by the way, for the record, in my estimation, is just as bad, if not worse.
You can't outspend people power. If you have really motivated people, like what they call fucking the DSA, like the Democratic Socialists of America. If you have people like that are very dedicated, like leftists, people that watch Hassan, like, bro, you're not going to overcome us with money, dude.
Than Fox News. And I say that because you go back to the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis and Great Recession.
Oh, yeah.
All they would do is bring on the Wall Street CEOs who are criminals and be like, tell us your side of the story, and then cover for them, even though they tanked the global economy and screwed over their workers and stole tax money as bonuses.
Yeah.
Right? So these guys are the worst of the worst. Here's their reaction to Zohran winning.
Gotham. Have you seen what Batman is up against in Gotham and what the guy running for mayor is up against? That's what it reminds me of. They're taking Wall Streeters and make him walk out onto the ice in the East River as and hope and then they fall through.
Yep,
I mean, there is a class warfare that's going.
So what's happened here, I think,
eat
is
the rich type.
It is not the closing of a steakhouse that David Zaslav likes to, and you like to go to. You and I have had dinner there a few times.
Yes. And you and I are going to recreate that place.
The rent's too high. You know what? The new mayor, potentially, of New York is going to freeze the rents, and everybody eats for free, so they don't have to worry.
Really?
Yeah.
But how about the rich?
No.
Do they get shot?
No. Yes. They get taken away.
Are we kulaks?
Yes, they get
Is this
taken away.
Lenin
We have to go.
in 23?
We have to leave now.
I'm not
But
John
everybody
Lennon.
else, there he is, Mamdani.
Maybe he's more moderate
winning
than we
the
think.
Democratic primary for mayor and potentially the successor of Eric Adams. That said, there's still a general election to come.
Let's go.
By the way, of course, we're here. We talk about it, but we are talking about a $2 trillion economy. It's not nothing.
It is a. And
He
Trump,
wants to get the rents down. One good way to
Trump
do it
say-
is to stop all business and drive everybody out. That'll bring the rents down.
That's a very good point.
Right?
To go to Jersey.
This is what I call the inverted morality of the right. They always find a way to take the people who are at the top and pretend like they're the victims. I mean, we see it also with Israel-Palestine, right?
true.
The people with all the money and all the weapons doing the genocide are somehow the victims. In this scenario, but what about the poor Wall Streeters?
Right.
What about them? Out of everybody in the city, they're doing the best of fucking everybody.
Also, look at the policies he's actually proposing. It's like free buses, which is something that like 70 to 80% of New Yorkers support.
There's no such thing as a free bus, Crystal.
Freezing the rent just for rent stabilized apartments. Like none of this, any European city, if a mayor proposes stuff, it's small ball stuff. And yet they have a total meltdown. It reminds me so much of Chris Matthews. When
They're
Bernie,
going to take him to
wins
Central
Nevada.
Park and shoot him.
He thinks he's going to get lined up in Central Park in front of some firing squad. It's just so preposterous. And the other thing that drives me crazy about it is in that first portion, he's like, this is class war. Oh, really? How about Trump's tax cut for the rich? Is that class war against the working class?
Yep.
Yes, actually it is. But you never see it when it goes in that direction. How about the fact they're going to take healthcare away from 10 million people? Is that class war? No, you never see that part. It's only when the rich are asked to pay a little bit more so that people can have, I don't know, childcare, pre-K, buses, make it so it's theoretically possible for people to even live in New York City at this point. And that at its core, Zohran put affordability at the core of his campaign. And for so long, New York City and specifically Manhattan has been run for those assholes on CNBC, who, by the way, probably don't even live in New York City. I think Kramer already lives in Jersey, by the way. Many of them live in Connecticut. So many of them are not even New York City residents. But they, whether they live in the city or not, that is who it has been run for. And what he's saying is, look at all these working class people who, by the way, many of them are having to flee the city because they can't afford to live here. I am going to reorient this government so it's about those are the people that we're going to try to serve. Those are the people we're going to try to make the city affordable for. And so, that is not a radical vision. That's just a repudiation of the Michael Bloomberg vision of the city as a quote unquote luxury good for the, not just New York elite, but truly for the global elite.
Those people have no idea what it's like to be working class. The ones whining about
Right.
the policy. They have no idea what it's like to be working class. Their idea of oppression, as you heard them right there, our beloved steakhouse might shut down. Bro, you got people who can't pay the fucking
we
rent.
went there together, this steakhouse.
This can't be replaced. You got people who can't pay the fucking rent, who are just struggling to get by, who are getting eviction notices, who work
it's such an
2
expensive
jobs, 3
city.
jobs, and can't fucking afford dick. And there they are, who's going to think of the poor Wall Streeters? You have got to be kidding me, bro. I mean, like I said, 2008, subprime mortgage crisis and Great Recession. These people are the criminals of this country. They are criminals.
Yeah.
How many people lost their homes because of their predatory loan schemes
Yep.
that they used?
Yep.
Right? And then, like I said, they got taxpayer money and gave it out as bonuses to the same assholes that bankrupted their companies. These are the villains.
Yeah.
And there's zero reckoning with that. It's that inverted morality thing where it's anybody who's at the top, anybody who's an oppressor, anybody who's done well, they're actually the oppressed. And the person who is the oppressor is the Bangladeshi immigrant cab driver.
Right.
70% of their money goes towards rent. It's
Oh
like,
my
how
God.
dare they put their boot on our neck? Like,
how
fuck you,
dare
bro.
they exist? I mean, that's the Stephen Miller and the Charlie Kirk and the Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Laura Loomer reaction to Zoran's election is just so mask off, out and out, brazenly racist that it's, I mean, I can't even say it's extraordinary. It's just like par for the course for these people.
Yeah, but it has gotten more, it's more forthright now than it used to be.
It's just
you know?
totally out in the open.
I mean,
and
they
it's-
compared Zoran to fucking Al-Qaeda.
Oh my God.
And as I said, Trump literally did a deal with the new leader of Syria, who was a leader of an Al-Qaeda branch, and that they love.
Well,
but Zoran, some lefty, you're actually Al-Qaeda.
who
Like,
appears to be pretty secular, let's be. I mean, there's no
course.
sign he's like some, religious fanatic
Of course not.
whatsoever.
No.
And meanwhile, you want to talk about religious fanaticism? Like, look at some of the psychos you have in your own government.
Yeah.
Mike
Trump,
Huckabee.
Yeah, Trump
Yeah.
sending out that text from Mike Huckabee
Mhm.
saying basically like you're on a mission from God to nuke Iran. Like, you have legit religious fanatics who are in control in the Trump administration, including him himself at this point. Not that he was ever like some devout Christian, but now he thinks he's like literal God, has this Messiah complex. And you're worried about this guy who wants to like make life affordable and have free childcare, that he's going to implement Sharia law in New York City. Like, get serious. And then the other part of it that's driving me crazy is Stephen Miller, of course, immediately goes to his great replacement theory.
Of course.
White nationalist bag of tricks. And just claim, oh, if it wasn't for all these immigrants, this is what you get when you import the third world. Those are things that Charlie Kirk is saying as well. And it's like, first of all, cut out the racism. Second of all, let's be honest. If it was only white people that voted in New York, Zoran would have won by even more than he did.
Right.
But this was a true multiracial coalition, which is why they hate it and why they have to lie about it. Because his whole strategy is divide and conquer. It's to set immigrants against native-born people, all in service of protecting the wealth of the, the people we just watched on CNBC. That's the project. And so he can't acknowledge the fact that actually this was a huge coalition of all sorts of races, all sorts of ethnicities, all sorts of religions, native-born and immigrant, and truly a generational reckoning against the mainstream of the Democratic Party. Like, he cannot acknowledge that, because if you see that kind of universalism and solidarity among different races, that's deadly to his disgusting racist project of white nationalism in service of the oligarchy.
This just occurred to me now, but so Stephen Miller basically wants a white ethno-state, right?
Correct.
What are some of the places in the world that are like, not white ethno-states, but like just demographically speaking, they're very, very white? Of course, you think of Scandinavia.
The Nordic countries,
right?
yeah.
Okay, what are the Scandinavian countries? They have free college, universal health care, high union rates, strong social safety nets, paid time off. And those are all the policies that this guy's fucking against. So it really just boils down to what?
Yep.
Me no like brown people. Like, that's literally the gist of it, is me no like brown people. And here you have this phenomenally charismatic guy who he's got awesome policies, and they can't help themselves but go full mask off. I mean, the thing Charlie Kirk said and Laura Loomer said, bringing up like 9/11 and saying it looks like we've forgotten, because they never forget shit.
God.
It looks like it's like you're literally just saying, I know there's over 1 billion Muslims in the world, they're all terrorists basically.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we even allow these people in the political conversation is my question. Like,
it's disturbing.
The political conversation has been hijacked by like fucking Nazis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, let's get them back in the fucking closet.
Get in the closet,
Let's
Nazi.
shame them out of public existence, because they add nothing to the conversation. Nothing.
Yeah, things have been put on the table now that just didn't used to be on the table. Like, for a member of Congress to just be that out and out brazenly racist. And it's just like, oh, it's just another day. Or like Randy Fine. Say, oh, let's nuke Gaza.
Yeah, let's nuke Gaza. Let's
and
kill them all.
this is just a blip on the radar.
Yep.
Like, barely goes mentioned.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Rashida Tlaib gets censured for being pro-Palestine.
Right.
But they say, let's murder every Gazan. Yawn. Nobody says anything. Not even fucking
Nope.
Chuck Schumer or anybody. No Democrat.
There is such a fucking there is such a difference in how they treat the left and the right, dude.
Democrats are like, yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
You know?
and then last thing on this is Cuomo, sources say, is going to drop his bid, so that's positive. But you still have, Schumer and Jeffries. Oh, they say they're going to meet with Zoran. Like, this is the Democratic nominee
Right.
in your city/state. You get behind him. Like, what is the freaking holdup? Okay, great. We're going on to November. Congratulations. We're behind you. How freaking hard is that? It's insane to me that this isn't just like a given that they would, he won the Democratic. Voters spoke in a Democratic primary. This is the guy they chose. Guess what? You may not like him. You may have preferred this freaking corrupt, sex pest, disgusting criminal Andrew Cuomo, but your guy lost. That's democracy. Now time to get behind him and move on. But when it's the left, they never do that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we had a conversation with Pastor Benjamin Dixon this week. It was an awesome conversation. He has some evidence and some details about potential more right-wing MAGA terrorism that's going to happen in this country. It's a super timely conversation, especially given what just happened in Minnesota. So definitely sign up on Substack below, watch the full thing. You don't want to miss it. And also, by the way, he's got this new project, thisspace.tv. Definitely check out thisspace.tv, and you can reach Pastor Ben at heypastorben@gmail.com.
All right. Well, that's it for me, y'all. I'm going to take a break. It's getting hot. I'm getting hot. Love y'all. Take it easy. Remember, left is best. We love leftism. Fuck fascists. Put them back in the closet. And we own the Democratic Party. We do. Bye-bye.